Okay, we start our session with recitation of Kitab Al-Fatihah. For the session today, we will start with a presentation by Safiddin and then followed by my feedback. And then we continue with the Nurril presentation, and then I will give feedback after that, and that's it for today.
Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Safiddin and I will present my game for today. Because a lot of my game were already analyzed by Dr. Wan and my friends, so I will share my game from my previous Masum, which is Masum 2020 against Rafiquzzam from IIUM. So the first move I just play like usual, knight f3, and then wait for him what he will reply. So here he played also knight f6. So I just continue my setup, which is just go here and then castling. Then he start to play like this. So this one, I think the name is Queen's Indian Defense, just like this. So during this time, I think I did not prepare against Queen's Indian, but I tried to play. But I remember one game which is from Stockfish and how to say Alpha Zero, which is the artificial intelligence. They play like this. So I just follow the opening they play. So here, and then I play d4. D4 is because I try to delete my castling, because sometimes people when they play like this, they also will push this pawn, just pawn storm my king. So I did not like it, so I just played d4 first to just control the center first. And if he try to attack me, I will try to counter attack at the center. And then we play this. This is the Queen's Indian setup. Then just castling. Then play d4. Then play c5. This c5 is, I think, they just said it a mistake. I don't know, because I remember this Alpha Zero and Stockfish game, he played here, and then he take, and then knight go here, just then he take, knight go here, and then to pin this pawn, and then knight go here, and then he castle, and then knight here, and then pawn here. I remember the game, so I just followed the game. Here, take, then go here. Because this pawn is pinned, so he can attack, because he will lose his bishop. So, castling, then attack. Then look, this pawn is say backward pawn, so I think it will become a target later. So just go continue my plan. I just go here, try to attack this guy, attack everything there. Then they try to save a bishop. I just develop my pieces, because in the opening you just develop, just don't need to take anything, just develop, strengthen the control the center, and then support this pawn to protect more later. So he doesn't have how to say, the knight go to the rim, so I think it's a bad move, because he just also said the inaccuracy. So I just continue my plan, because this knight only can go here, and then he doesn't have any future. Maybe here, but I can just support the pawn. So just go here, and then he save his bishop, and he pin. Then I take my bishop. If stockfish said uh, stockfish said the best move is just to take, but during the game I feel that I have a what to say uh, his position is cramped. So when your opponent position is cramped, you just doesn't need to take his piece, because if you take, he will use his bishop, his queen, and then rook will come here, and it will his position it will not cramp anymore. So I just try to make his position still cramp, because this bishop is bad bishop blocked by his own pawn. And then the other move is just try to go here, but I think that that move is undeveloping move. So I thought that I didn't like that move. So I just go here, try to attack this big pawn, because this queen will need to protect the pawn. This bishop stuck to protect the pawn. So just try to pressure your my opponent here. So just go here. Maybe in the future I will take, if I already analyze, because I already analyze, I can take that and but during this time this is my first time I have this position, so I I just remember the game from Alpha Zero, so I just try to follow the game. Then you go here, I go here. This move is for the prevent this pawn from going here, and it will harass my bishop, so the bishop will later will need to move more. The best move is here, but I didn't see it because it's just like weakening move for my king. There we go. Then it's like try to rotate. I don't know where, but because I think his position is very cramped, so he take a lot of time try to find a square for his pieces. I just uh, I just try to attack his king, because during here I thought that his pieces still somewhere not developed, so I move this g4 pawn. Just try to break his king and then checkmate him. Maybe I can checkmate him, maybe not. That is my plan. Then and then he can take this, and then this one is hanging, so just take it. Then take, but he get this pawn. Then I have a before I going back, I just try to attack his queen, because if his queen move, maybe anyway, I can just try to harass this knight, maybe, or try to pressure more of this pawn. Oh, I see it here. If I go here, if you go here, I can pin. Then try to attack the pin pieces, because the queen is pinned. I go here. He will need to go. Then go here. Then we go back. Can I can take this king position is open. That my plan is one to pry open his king side. So first again. So just to one intermezzo here, just to make his move his pawn forward. Then this G pawn will be weak. If he try to back with his knights, it will be pinned. So I just bring my queen here and then protect more. Maybe later because the position is so cramped, so he will pressure of it. So you go here, then I go back here. The the stoppist still suggests I go to C1, but uh, I don't like the undeveloping move, so I just go here. Just try to pressure this pawn because his queen will start to protect it. If you guys can see, his rook still did not join the game because still blocked by his own pieces. So he tried to develop, and then I also developed, finishing my development. Then yeah, then where to go? So I just go here, just attack this pawn because if he move something else, I can take this knight, and then I will this pawn will be undefended. So if I take the pawn with his queen, and then I just centralize because I think here I just try to say wait what he will do. So I just try to centralize my pieces because if you centralize your pieces, it is not wrong sometimes because he doesn't have any threat right now. So I just centralize my rook. Then here I thought that this knight will go here, so I just try to prevent anything that he can do. So that I go here, try to prevent his knight. Then he try to push here. I just take because I think here I already have a low time. I think maybe around 6 to 5 minutes, and he has around 3 minutes. I think 3 or 2 minutes. So here I thought that I have a plan. If I take here, then if he take with his rook, if he then he take rook, I just try to push my pawn and then just try to break the center. Because if you go back, just go to center like this. Then this knight will have a new square because the pawn just moved. Then I think it's quite better for me according to Stockfish. But I think that I have a lot of attacking ideas because I can go here, attack this one. This one can move, push. Then my bishop will be alive. Then everything. So and then if and then in the game, in the game, attack with this pawn. And then this is my idea. I try to rook lift my rook. I try to rook lift it and go here, both with and try to attack his king because my time is quite low. So I found this plan. So I just play it. Just play according to my plan. Because previously there is knight here, so I cannot move my rook there. So I just continue my plan. I just continue my plan. Bring my rook and my queen line up. Then attack, attack one, and I continue my plan also. Just line up my rook because if you doesn't have any plan, just line up your rook and then try to attack your opponent. Here, I think my opponent already stand up because he has quite low time. I think around 1 minute, and everyone is watching our game. So my heart also beating very quite hard because I don't know what to do. I just continue my plan and then and get this position, and then no, I just wait what he will do. He go here, that I take small. Just static because if it, I saw that his two pieces was hanging unprotected. So if I go here, if it take, I will have uh, pieces for free. So he tried to move one piece, and I go here because I saw that he already left this diagonal, which is quite a uh, active diagonal. Because my bishop is quite bad bishop, just support this pawn. So why not I go to the more active diagonal so I can attack later, because if it take I can go here with check and then attacking his pieces. So I just go here. Then he tried to attack my knight. Then here, protecting my pawn. Then here he started to have a counterplay, which I didn't see, because his knight will go here and then can go here or here. Then he have these two square to fork my rook. Here he can fork here. Here he can fork here. I didn't see it because I just tried to move fast, but not blunder. I moved this one. This one is blunder move. And then he continued his plan. And then I saw this one. So if I just move my king, I delay because he can take here and then maybe I will checkmate later. So I just try to protect this square with my bishop. So I take this pawn first because I think that if I go here first, maybe he can take. But if stop his set, he just can take it. But I did. I think I didn't calculate more of it. So because I have quite low time, so I just uh, take this pawn. Then then he take with bishop to prevent my rook, because he also want to win because he is 1720. I'm only zero rating, so he tried to beat me because uh, I'm an unrated player. So yeah, but try to protect this one. Here, I think I blunder because he just can take this, and you can see the bar already negative 3.5, which is for black, which is very good for black. So here, then I will take, just try to protect square. Then he go here. Here he blundered because here this rook is unprotected. So I saw that if I go here, he at least I will win this rook. At least. And then I go, then he take with this bishop, which is blunder because I can just doesn't need to take the rook and then just checkmate. And that's the game. He just blunder checkmate. Here, from the opening, uh, from until the sixth move, I check with this six. chess.com. He said that until the sick move, I followed the book opening. Here, I just okay, this is first move. Then uh, we will see the key moment when the, the key moment is here. Oh, 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 oh. The key moment is around here when I push this pawn. Just I plan that I just try to open his king side so that I will attack his king because I saw that his pieces still undeveloped on this side, on the queen side. So where my piece is already on his king side, so I just try to attack his king. Then go ahead, and then this is the best move. Other move is just become negative. Although I lose my pawn, then and then this I think this one is another key move because I need to make this pawn move so that this pawn will become weak. Then later I will attack it. Just try to uh, make a little move so that will make uh, weakness because every pawn move will create a weakness. So yeah, and then continue my development. And then another key moment is I think uh, around here when I take this knight because when I take it, I his position will start to open, but I have some plan. Just try to rook lift my rook and then attack his king side. Although he can attack with rook or this pawn, but maybe later I can push this pawn and make a new square for my rook. Uh, for, for that, then this just continue my plan. Then I go here. The the stoppage that I should just back my queen, but this this time I saw that I can just double my rook here. So why not just try to double, and then if this pawn disappeared, I can just go here to checkmate his king. Then the then the key another key moment is around here when he blundered the smooth. So I just uh, calculate a little bit, and then I saw that I can at least get this rook if we take with knight. Then I take, then take, can take here, then then I take collect this pawn. Although it can take here, but this bishop is protecting my second pawn here. Then he blundered this checkmate. I think that's all I can share about this game.
Okay, this is my feedback on Safiddin, what we call Safiddin game. So we can see that Safiddin play the Catalan and the opponent play this Queen's Indian setup. So we go straight to this opening. But in this opening, Okay, here. This is Catalans against Queen Indian setup. In this opening, Safiddin opponent plays c5. Okay, this c5 is quite a dubious move. This quite dubious move. Why? There are two reasons. Because first, the black king here, if you see the black king here, is still in the middle. Normally, when you play the Queen Indian or whatever, play against the d4 or Catalan, whatever, the king, you almost see that the king always castle first in order to avoid any trick for the queen on the diagonal or any what we call break in the middle and so on. So this is quite already dubious because first the king is still there, and also need to remember most of the game opening with the d4, you often see that there are d5 pawn here. This d5 pawn in d4 d5 pawn opening is help to prevent this pawn from getting forward, or we call it last, lust, to expand. And also this d4 d5 pawn here, the pawn that I highlight with the green here, it's also have a task to protecting the square, the e4 square and also c4 square, in case the white moving his c4 pawn. But in this game, if you see that this black play the c5 straight away, forgetting that there are no stopper on this, what we call, on this d5 square lah. Okay. When the pawn is pushed forward, we can say now that the white have some territory advantage. That's why you almost see most of the game with d4 opening always have the white black will play d5 most of the one lah. Okay, but if let's say you don't see this, almost all the case you will see that the king will be stuck into the king side first before anything any measure will be taken, like this c4, what we call this c5 or any e5 pawn break. Okay, because in d4 opening for black, the normal pawn break is c5 and e5, and almost always the case the king will always castle first before that happen. Here the c5 is played before the king is castle. Okay, see the difference, this what we call this situation than the book situation. In the book, okay, from book theory, the black should, what we call, should castle first, and then let's say now what push the pawn. Okay, let's say now what push the pawn follow the same idea with what Safiddin play in the game. If you take and let's say we follow what Safiddin play, like knight, what we call h4. In fact, this is one of the common standard method lah. Standard method when you are facing, when you have bishop opposing each other. So this is standard method. You allow some capture in the middle, and then before you take, you move your knight. That's one of the standards, what we call standard way how to release the tension in the center lah, in the center. So basically you sort of like you allow the black to take, but before you take back, you move the knight, move the knight away lah, in order to create a pin here. So let's say now white take. So now the difference here is that without the c4 c pawn move yet, black can sort of like reinforce this what we call this pawn on d5, even though you might say that this cost this bishop on the b7 quite weak, quite sort of like bad, but pawn is a pawn, so maybe white need to take anyway. So take, and then you can take with the knight. Of course, if you take with the pawn, you still get a pawn, you still have a pawn. I mean, the position is equal, but then the position of this is not quite what we call likable for black, because of this what we call isolated double pawn along which is in front of this open file. So the white can always go there and gang this, what we call the rook, and attacking this pawn. But black can take with what we call with the knight, and then here more often than not, white will think many times before take here, because if you take here, even though now it's double pawn, same like before, but the difference here is there are no what we call no bishop here, and you can see the black have this light square bishop with the weakened light square around the white king. So this bishop on the b7 can be very dangerous later on. So even though so we can see that black have some compensation even though you have this double pawn in the half open file. First you have this double bishop, second you have this light square bishop particularly, which can sort of like exploit this disappearance of white light square bishop on g2. So that's the difference. So more often than not, when even though you take with the knight, the white will not try, I mean he will think twice lah before taking the knight. Okay, so if let's say he doesn't do anything, let's say he doesn't take the knight, so he go to nf5. Normally this nf5, Kasparov has said if you put your knight on f5, I mean f5, or for black f4, then that's quite constitute some advantage lah. This knight on f5 is quite dangerous. A lot of tactic can happen when the knight is positioned on f5 for white or f4 for black. And normally you can put this knight on f5 when this pawn is not there lah. So that's one of the advantage of pushing the pawn here, pushing the pawn to the front and allowing, and if black take, then this square is already weak, so the knight can go there. So that's one thing need to be careful lah when you take a thing away from the center. So now let's say here now white goes to f5, trying to take the bishop, and then black can just go to nc7 because this bishop still, yeah, you can just take, it's okay. But at least now black has planned for going to d4, consolidating his own position lah, meaning that now you don't have like weak pawn and so on. Of course you don't have this what we call bishop pair, but at least the position now is better than what happened in the game. If you see in the game, you push you push straight away, black push straight away, and then what we call this push, and then white forward the pawn to d5, and then what we call the black take, and white go to h4, and then the standard pin as I said before, and then 0-0. The difference here is that there are no sort of like this thing, the reinforcing move of c6, because the pawn is already on c5. Okay, we want this pawn on c5 in order to dislodge any pawn on the d4, white pawn on d4. But now the c5 somehow sort of like offside, is in fact is make this bishop quite what we call quite doesn't have life lah, because it's blocked his own bishop. So the c5 normally good when white have pawn on d4, at least you can exchange that pawn. But now the c5 move seems like offside lah, because not only it doesn't have anything to do here, what we call cancel, wait, not only it doesn't have any target to capture or whatever, it also block the bishop. So that's the difference, the game between the game and the theory lah, the book theory. During the presentation, Safiddin always mentioned that, I remember this alpha 0 and stockfish, alpha 0 and stockfish. So normally for what we call for top player in the high level, that's how they ni lah, meaning that they can just bring from the memory, okay, this is the game from what we call from this tournament, this guy play with this guy, and then they use that game as a model to improve upon. So that's how the top player they improve their what we call their play by continuing improving themselves, looking at others' game. Okay. Okay, so now in this position, white take. Okay, and then of course NF4. If you go to NF5 first, is still transpose lah. But in this game, Safiddin take first, and then the black play d6. Normally, this d6 pawn, d6 move is necessary lah. Even though you see that this d6 move make this bishop quite, what we call quite bad. But remember, this bishop, even though it's bad, is not necessarily bad absolutely, because you can still reroute this bishop. The what we call this, rook can go here, the bishop then can go here, and then you can open here and put Fianchetto here. No, and in fact, this is standard position, more or less like a position in modern Benoni lah. If you see the modern Benoni, if I may, normally in the opening called Benoni, white play this thing, knight play like this thing, and then white play like this thing, and then black play this c5. So in this case, for Benoni player, white can go push in front, and as I said before in the previous lecture, you can play either Benko or Benoni. If you look here in the Benoni, the new version, is more or less the same lah. More or less the what we call the configuration is more or less the same, like what we call like in the game lah. You have this d6 pawn, okay, and then normally this bishop goes here. The what we call the idea normally is like this will be here, and then this will be here, and then you castle you castle here, and then I don't know what is slow. Wait, yeah. No, I think I don't open anything. Okay, and then you what we call start the counter attack here lah. So this is type of Benko, and then white normally goes put the pawn there lah, put the pawn there, and then black, the idea for black, he will bring this knight somewhere here, and white also try to sort of like challenge the knight on this square lah. So in the Benoni, the main what we call main square that is of interest is this square lah. Okay, if you look in the game, if you see in the game here, in the game, okay, so in the game, this position, this bishop can be transferred to here lah. So so it's not really absolute bad yet, because this pawn, even though it's not backward, because they are white pawn here, so there are no frontal attack from white, cannot unleash any frontal attack from d1 or d2 whatever, because his own pawn sort of like block this d6 pawn. But that's why I said this knight is quite dangerous, and it's much better for black later on go back here and try to chop this knight, because this what we call this bishop can do nothing here. It just hitting the granite, huh? Because this pawn is doubly protected, and later on in the game, white even triple protected this pawn. So that bishop there is quite offside. This bishop on the b7 quite offside, and you can see that white have a very strong knight here. So it much better idea plan later on for black to go back here and try to capture this knight. When you have a bad bishop, one way to remove that bad bishop is to capture it to your opponent ni lah, best piece lah. So in this case, you can go here, or you can pin here, pin the what we call one of the standard method also to pin along this diagonal lah. But if you pin here, it's still white still just go here and then just move that. So it's not really much useful lah if you pin there lah. So it much more useful later on for black to go back and dislodge this knight on the f4. And then rook e8, okay, rook e8, and then knight c3 and e6 and e4. Okay, in this case, even though the e4, if you look here, the e4 pawn move, even though the e4 block this bishop pass, somehow what we call this pawn like a traitor for this own bishop, but it doesn't mean this e4 is a wrong move, because if you look at these two bishop, the bishop on the g2 and also the bishop on the b7 here, the b7, let me put the color. The bishop at the what we call the b7 here, even though both of these bishop are hitting the granite, meaning that doesn't have like a diagonal, open diagonal hitting the pawn, but they have this distinct difference lah. White bishop, okay, white bishop, even though is blocked by his pawn, it straighten this pawn, and this pawn in turn straighten this pawn. In white position, the key thing in the white position is this pawn, the pawn in the center here. The pawn here, the one in the yellow here, keep black position cramped. So this bishop, even though it look bad, it's help to sort of like cramp or black position to a certain degree lah. But this bishop, the black bishop, have no active purpose lah. It cannot even take hit because the pawn is already protect this pawn. So this bishop doesn't serve any active purpose compared to this what we call the bishop on the g2. Even though at the same time, even though now people may say that both of this bishop are not having like long diagonal ahead of them. Okay, and this bishop, if you see this bishop, let me put on yellow. This bishop, we don't see it as bad because it serves as a purpose, the purpose as a main defender for this d6. For black position, the main piece, piece lah. This is pawn. The main thing that hold the black position together is d6 pawn. If this d6 pawn is out, then white can start rolling over lah. So this bishop here, the one in yellow, serve as an important purpose as a good defender in this situation lah. So this bishop, we can call it as double-edged bishop lah, because it can be what we call good. It's not good. It's not bad, and it's also not good, but it's more like in the middle. It serves the purpose. But this, for time being, we can call it as a bad bishop because it just doesn't have any purpose for the time being. So now white play e4, and then this bishop go to f8, opening this line for the rook. Okay, now the rook is attacking this pawn, and this bishop also for if let's say this knight go somewhere else, this bishop can sort of like go to this g7, and this knight also can be pushed away by playing this lah. But of course not now, because for the time being, this bishop and this knight, these are two things that is controlling this square. So if you push, then you can just white can just go hop here and so on lah. Okay, so now bishop g5. Okay, what we call Safiddin play bishop g5, pinning the knight, and then h6. Okay, and then bishop f4. Okay, bishop on f4 here doesn't do. Remember in the Safiddin presentation, Safiddin said here is the where he not really know what to do, take or not to take, but he want to preserve this bishop so that if he play like this, then at least he can always keep eye on this d6 pawn. But that on f4 it doesn't really do much, because this pawn, even though this bishop on this what we call on this f4 eyeing this pawn on d6, this pawn still protected by this and also this queen. So as if this bishop sort of like doesn't have any active, yeah, it have active purpose, but not much what we call not much clear. It's not clear how white can increase the pressure on the d6. Okay, because if you want to do this, you need to deal first with the what we call this rook. The rook is still there, and also how you so how actually you want to go there, go there. You may want to go here, but if you go here, then you make this if the knight, if your knight want to increase the pressure on this d6, this pawn which is what we call the what we call the only thing that hold, not the only thing, I mean the main thing that hold the white position will be gone. The central pawn, when this is gone, then this also will be gone also, more or less. So that's why even though it's aim something, it's quite difficult to make use of that. I mean, how to increase further the pressure. So that's why the stockfish, they what we call, they recommend this, the engine or whatever, they recommend this taking straight away this knight. Okay, because this knight, remember, this knight on the f7 have a very good defensive purpose and also attacking purpose here. Okay, because of this knight, white knight here cannot move, because if this move, then this pawn goes away lah, and when this pawn goes away, then same with the center lah. So that's why the what I call, the recommendation is taking on the knight on the f6. You take, and then now what to do is that white can go back, and because the knight here doesn't really have any purpose anymore, because yeah, it's still good, but you need to have plan. Okay, you need to have plan how to follow up. Okay, so by n e3, at least white have some plan of rolling this pawn forward lah, rolling this pawn forward, and so on lah. So if let's say you go here and then you just go there, so in this case there are no sort of like concrete way to win. There are no like tactical win, whatever. It's all down to the positional understanding. Okay, this what make positional chess difficult, because there are no clear-cut way to win, but you just need to improve slowly and slowly until black is suffocated and make a mistake later on. That is positional chess. You play slow and slow. Okay, when you play like lower rated player, then it's easy. They make a mistake here and there, so you can what we call punish them tactically. But when you play higher rated player, then normally you need to deal with this positional nuance, slow maneuvering and so on. Okay, so that is how the game will become very positional, and then slow. Whoever can maneuver best then win and so on here. But bishop f4 is not a mistake. It's just the plan there. What is the plan? At least here you have a clear plan, so much easier to play if let's say you are low in time lah. This you okay. It's not a mistake. It's just one way to play lah. One way to play. It's not like totally bad, but this also one way to play lah. Much clearer. This okay, keeping the piece on the board and still make life difficult for black lah. So it's not really bad. And then bishop c8. Okay, so you see this bishop doesn't find life on this diagonal, so we go back to this thing. And then h4. Okay, so h4 here. So now what should black do now? White is keeping keep pressuring the black. I mean, it's not pressuring. I mean that white advantage, space advantage, cause black cramp in his own camp. It's not like white attacking anything. Okay, but white position in such a way make black life miserable. So that's the idea here. So black must come up with a plan. If not, it will keep react to what play lah. Okay, if we black just play a normal move, then white just still improve his position slowly and until one point, then black cannot black will feel very suffocated and make a mistake, and white will crush in. So how black can create his own chance after h4 here? So we need to think also from black perspective. When you analyze, you don't analyze from your perspective alone. You need to analyze from your opponent perspective, because most of the time when we won is because our opponent make the last mistake. Like when you see at the final phase of this game, Safiddin got this checkmate because his opponent make the last mistake. But before that, maybe like 2 move or 3 move before that, the position is quite equal. In fact, it's better for the black. So normally in chess, you win that's why you need to check or analyze even the game that is your you won. It's not like what we call, it's like Kasparov, what Kasparov said, that not even the game that you won, I mean, there are no such like a perfect game. Even if you won one game, there must be some mistake here and there. Okay, so in this case, what is the best thing that black can do in order to create his own chance? Because for time being, black is like cramped and always reacting to what white playing. So black need to create his own chance. So what chance that black can go, is that, as I said before, this pawn is the main thing in black position. If somehow black can take this pawn, then he can survive, he can breeze a little bit easier. So in order to break this pawn, you need to dislodge this knight. Okay, because now this pawn is doubly protected by bishop and knight, but doubly also attacked by the rook and also knight. If let's say you can remove one of the defender of the pawn, then this pawn will be lost lah. And when this pawn is lost, this knight here also will be sort of like hanging lah. So that's why you look at what is the main thing that you need to focus in the opponent camp lah. So in this case, this pawn. So the best move is to play b5. Okay. Yes, it gives the free, but in return of that, you get this lah. You get what we call, you get this pawn, much better pawn, and also you have this open file and so on. So that's one thing. So black maybe doesn't want to take, so he might just protect the thing, but anyway, just go straight away and then take, and then need to go away, and then similarly you get this pawn, the center pawn. And then now this, as I said, when the center pawn is gone, this knight becomes shaky, so the knight can go here. But at least now you can see the transformation of the position. The black knight now has square here, and then have this potentially passed pawn on this A file. So that's why create your own sort of like chance also. If let's say you are counterplay, you are playing passively, then there are no chance. You need to create your own counterplay. Don't just react passively to your your opponent desire. Even though this pawn seem at the beginning seems like what we call giving for free, it's not free. You have this composite, you have this another pawn here. Okay, so that's how you create a counter chance. Normally the counter chance or counter play start with sort of like certain sacrifice, not sacrifice, I mean that diverting certain piece that protecting something. So normally the counterplay start like that. You divert a defender to other ni lah, for square or point lah. So here you can divert this defender by putting f4, and even though you try to prevent that, you cannot lah, because you have this thing. Okay, and then until if you take like I said before, this thing, the position now is equal. Both sides have a chance lah. Both sides have a chance. And even though now this is quite bad lah, because not bad, I mean that yeah, it's okay lah, it's okay, it's not really bad lah, even though the pawn is protected, is hitting the pawn here, but it can also go here after the king go here and exchanging the bishop. Is okay lah. So the position is equal here, but in the game black goes to nc7, and then now white play g4. Okay, looks threatening, and also this need to what we call calculate, back up with the calculation. This okay lah, the g4 is okay because it's protected yet, still okay. But now black play g6. This allows some complication to happen. Of course, when you take this is not free, this is not like free pawn, because when you take here, like in the game, you take white black have this capture also, so it's not like you give a black giving a free pawn. The problem with this g6 is that it's allow, as Safiddin said, this is a good move. This intermezzo move the queen need to move somewhere lah kan. So if the queen go here, then you have the pin here, and it's easy later on lah. In fact, the white is can be winning here. So that's why, like it or not, black need to play this. And when you do this, like Safiddin said, this square will be very weak lah, very weak. So so that's the reason why this is bad, because white have some intermezzo move later on attacking the queen, which is forcing black to move his pawn, causing this g pawn here weaken. Okay, so how to do here, how to deal here? Even though the position, the g4 pawn seems like threatening to go here and to use this hook, it seems threatening. This is where black need to, here the calculation is needed lah. But if let's say we use the same idea like before, meaning that black need to create his own counter chance, so the again this move is the best move lah. Is the best move. Even though now, let's say white goes straight away, white push the pawn forward by g5, okay, by g5, black can also have his own chance by playing b4. Okay, so let's say white take here, and black can play this intermezzo move, taking on the knight, because the knight on the f5 is very dangerous. You take that, okay, this you need to calculate a little bit, but still, if white take on here, white take on this, what we call on g7, okay, on g7, if white take on this, just take on knight lah. But if white take on this, just take with the bishop. And remember, remember this thing still attacking here, still attacking the pawn. So if I take that, and then because this bishop, if let's say white move away this thing, at least the bishop can take lah the pawn. So white take the bishop, but now you take this, and now black have this thing. This is an important move. Go here. Okay. The reason why this is important is because now remember white have this double bishop, so black need to neutralize the strength of this bishop. One way is to just sort of like offering the exchange. Okay, maybe it looks scary because maybe this queen g4 looks scary, but the king can just go there and equal lah. It's not really dangerous, because remember the white king position also is not really safe here, because this what we call this this file is not, is still is also open, so black can put his rook there. Okay, so that's the way lah. So if let's say white doesn't check, but instead take on s6, okay, thinking that, oh, free pawn, and then later on I will check. Now black also can take this pawn, and now it's quite, I mean, it's black is winning, because now you are aiming on this thing. Okay, you aiming on that thing for checkmate, so black has initiative here. Okay, so Nurril, wait a little bit because your game is quite short. It's okay. So I will take some time for Safiddin first, maybe another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I will give floor to you lah. Okay, so that's the reason why the g6 is quite, is not is reacting to the white what we call white desire. Instead of that, black should create his own desire. Of course, this, to do this is easier to said than done. Of course, when you have engine and so on, it's easier. But then here is where, if you are in the on the board tournament, here is the where you need to start to calculate well. Do I respond the attack, or do I create my own attack here and see whether I can sort of like survive here? Okay, because at least if I survive here, I can have some attack going down on my own. If let's say you just play like this, you only survive your own only, so you don't create your own counter chance lah. But this, as I said, is easier to say than done lah. You need to calculate here. So to increase the calculation skill, then you need to do a lot of puzzle and need to analyze your game a lot of time and so on. Okay, so G6, the opponent play G6, and then you take on the S6 check, and then blah 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 blah, and then you get this thing intermezzo like Safiddin mentioned. The F6, the G6 become what called weak, and then Bishop F4, and then Queen E7. I just go here, Queen F3, whatever here, Queen G3, and then Queen C7, and then Rook E1. Okay, in here. Because white know, like I said before, the main problem for black, the main counter chance for black is to play this. So it must, I think it's more better for white to just take time a little bit and play this thing in order to prevent any counterplay, to kill all the counterplay, and then just play whatever you want lah. Maybe you just want to do rook leaf or whatever and so on. That's okay later after you kill the counterplay by black lah. But this is okay, it's not bad. Ancient Bishop D7, and then again in this position, B4 should be played lah by black. It's again always this B4 create the counter chance for the blacks lah. And then rook A D1 whatever, and then rook A D8, and again this when black play this, as if there are no really clear reason why you play this, as if there are there are not much can be done. Maybe you want to protect this what call this pawn, but this pawn is fully protected by, because you have the knight here, so it's not like this pawn can be attacked by this bishop. So again this move is what we call is recommended. Okay, is recommended. The idea is that you go before, at least you can go here, and at least create a some pass pawn there, create some chance there lah. But in the game, black play rook A8, rook A8, and then now what somehow hold this pawn from moving lah. I mean the B4, now the B5, the black finally play B5, B5, but it's better late than never lah. Okay, so now black is threatened to play C4 lah, to create a pass pawn horse in for his own lah. Okay, now white make a positional, this is what we call positional mistake lah, positional blunder. Even though in the game, in the presentation, Safiddin said the reason why he take the knight is to sort of like to create this threat of the what we call on this rook leaf, to make a rook leaf, making a threat on the king. But it's easily what we call easily defendable, because if you look here, the black only have one weak pawn lah, weak position. So this one weakness is easily defendable. You can just go here, you can just put your rook here and then protect that, and then it's easily defendable. One weakness is easily defendable. When you don't take, for example, when you're not taking the pawn, when you are not taking this thing, the position is fluid. It's still fluid. I mean that the center is still fluid. It's not close. But when you take this, the center become close. Okay, when you take this, the center will become close. So now this pawn can be said, we can say it's quite safe, and this bishop start looking very bad lah now. This bishop start looking very bad because it cannot, there are no like pawn push. So this bishop is forever imprisoned behind this pawn. So what is the best move? If let's say Safiddin said that he played this thing, take the knight to do rook leaf because he have less time, that's okay, that's understandable. If you have less time, then it's better to you to come up with some plan quickly. But if you have time, then you need to think lah. If you and your opponent have time, you need to think carefully the what you call the consequence of your play. For example, here you can see the center is totally blocked. So when the center is totally blocked, then it's easy for black to defend because there are no second weakness. You can just pile up against this G6 pawn, but black can also defend it easily because that's the only thing that he need to defend. So the best way is to keep the center fluid and then this what we call a prophylaxis move lah. The idea is that you know that the idea for black is to move here. So when you play like this, when you play this prophylaxis move or preventing opponent resource in advance, if let's say this pawn is moved, at least white have this square, of his own. Okay, but let's say white play not c4 but play a5. Okay, a5, and then here white can go to d2. Okay, and because this knight here is not an outpost, the outpost for knight is when there are no pawn that can dislodge that knight. Here this is not outpost. You just go back and then you just straighten this. At least now the knight is not there, and the center is fluid, and you can always open this bishop, because this bishop, when the center is open later on, then it can be very dangerous, because a bishop pair is very dangerous, and this bishop also can go here and sort of like make some threat over the diagonal a1 to h8 diagonal. So that is one way. The another way to do it, just bringing the bishop back. Safiddin said, oh, I don't like this undeveloping move. Certain undeveloping move is necessary in order to create another move. For example, here the bishop on the f4 seem developed, but it doesn't have any, it's not really have any really good purpose, strong purpose lah, because the knight is there. Okay, if you take like in the game, then the position is closed. So if the bishop go back, there, at least you have this plan f4. So that's one thing lah. But the position Safiddin take, and then the position become close. Okay, Safiddin want to do the rook lift. Okay, the rook lift, but here actually this is mistake lah, because black can go b4, and then the knight will be dominated. The knight, you have a rook lift, but your knight will become like no go lah, because even though you want to do rook lift, the queen can go here. So it's preventing the what we call the queen going to g5 and so on. And also when the knight goes there, not only when black play b4, when black play this b4, not only is make the knight go to the first rank, it's also give this square, and from this square you can go to this juicy square lah, the important square in the middle of the board, where it can do attack and also defend at the same time. So so that's the idea. So that's why rook d2, the straight away rook lift, is not really recommended. Need to do something lah, because that's the danger of this. You make this close position, because black doesn't have to worry anything in the middle anymore. So that's the danger of making things close. The defense will be easier, and the counter at chance can be more dangerous. Okay, so black play this, and then queen g5, queen f6, rook g3, and then take, and in this position this is equal, because this point is very easy to defend. It's very easy. It's just 1 point. Okay, it's very easy to defend. So rook e3, okay, continue with the rook lift. Still this is bad lah. This is a mistake, because black can start this move and then go here and there, and that's the thing lah, because any rook lift, any doubling here doesn't really cost much lah here. Okay, so rook f6. Okay, this is a mistake by not a mistake, I mean that it instead of having the advantage of pushing this b4 and make his own chance going here and here, you are like black is reacting to white attack. In fact, here you don't need to sort of like to go here first, because it's just only one piece that is attacking here and one piece already defending it. So it's not really useful. It's not really needed yet. So but in the game you play this, and then you do rook lift, and then you go like this, and then h5. Still this is drawish, because there are no real chance yet, but because you have this bishop e8, and it's quite like the defense is quite there. bishop s3, bishop b4. Okay, this is, and now even though now the knight go to b5 and going to here is not really dangerous anymore, because white is already ready to do something there. Okay, but here black play this thing, and this is not really good, because the good thing is just take on here, and then you just exchange lah. Because if you take, you can, if you do like this, and then you can just take whatever. Still, you don't have checkmate, because this rook still sort of like looking at this. So this is like easily defendable. In fact, white is this is like equal lah, because they are no checkmate whatever, because always black can go here. So that's the idea lah. So but in the position white play this is quite a blunder, because you have nd4 coming into this rescue lah, coming to the rescue. The threat is just, of course, obviously the fork here, and also you can see, as Safiddin said, now he's threatening and this so on. In the game we play like this: bishop g6, bishop g4. Okay, bishop g4, and this black make his mistake here lah, because he just take lah. You just take, then you get like just free, and they are no checkmate. The reason why they are no checkmate, because this rook is still there. This rook is still there and protecting this rank. So taking the pawn is just, I mean, in fact, black is already winning, close to winning here, because if you go here, then you create your own checkmate trade there. So, and it just win a pawn. It's already win a pawn. So that's one thing. So long that black make sure there are no checkmate here, then it's okay. Okay, but in the game you play black like this, and then go bishop d1, because yeah, and then rook g8, and this is the last mistake. That's why I said in the chess normally you won. Most of the time we won is because our opponent make the last mistake. So that is and then you go here, you have this nf5, and yeah, and everything is gone lah, because you have this pin, you have this pin, and everything will be sort of like lost lah. And in the game, I mean, the black opponent make Safiddin opponent make life thing easy, and you just get this one move mate, and yeah, the game is gone.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurril. So today I will present my game against Hafiz. And Hafiz play as white and me play as black. So set now. So Hafiz play e4. So when opponent play white as e4, me obviously will play c5, and I as a Sicilian player, as the one said before. So yeah, I will play like I used to play before. So you just developing the pieces, and I'm not familiar with Hafiz opening, so I just continue with my opening. So A6, according to the stockfish, is inaccuracies, but for me, I think I want to avoid the white knight here to go to the b5. So I think I have to push the A6 pawn here, so that I can avoid from knight go to the b5. So here, Hafiz play f4. I assume that he want to push all the pawn here and to break my pawn stump at here. So that's why he push f4. So I go to the g4, as I want to threaten the black square bishop here, and Hafiz move to the queen to d2, which is blunder. So obviously I will because later on, black has a tactical for white. So definitely I will take the bishop. And unfortunately, I do not see the tactical here. So um, I move to knight d4. So I want to ask um, Aisha, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me what is the best move for black here?
Mm, not sure. It's Nurril.
Oh, okay. Supposedly, it's supposedly bishop need to be here so that when knight take, because bishop was pin the queen, uh, and behind the queen is a king, right? So the knight need to take the must take the bishop in order to avoid the pin. So I will take me by 2 points. So I have the fork here. So the queen need to run over here or in any square that Hafiz want. So I will get the I will have a one piece up. So that's the reason why the queen d2 is blunder. So unfortunately I moved to the knight d4 because I did not see the tactical here. And I just think that if the knight take and then my bishop will take the knight here, so I will pin. But the rook was, but Hafiz didn't do it, so he just moved to the rook c1, and after that, uh, I tried to put on pressure on knight at d2, but Hafiz tried to threaten my bishop. I want to I ran away. I did not take the knight. Supposedly I need to take the knight, but I think that I have to keep my bishop because Hafiz have the bishop here at the g2. So I think the bishop is strong. So I think I need to keep my bishop. So that's why I go to the d7. So this is an inaccuracy move lah according to the stockfish. So the king, I'm not sure why he move to the king h2. So I just keep on my plan because I want to put my bishop here because I want to exchange later on with the white bishop. And this is a inaccuracies. I don't know why, but for me, I think there's nothing wrong. I'm not sure why, but yeah, my purpose is just to want to exchange with the white bishop, and plus I have the black bishop here, and I think it will give me some advantage later on. That's what I think on the time. So we move to the b3. Hafiz plays b3. I'm not sure why, but this is in Curious's move. Maybe he's just doing a waiting move. Yeah, I guess so. But here I think I want to avoid the knight play at d5, because if the knight play at the d5, so I think it's some give me quite a disturbing for knight to play at d5, and later on the other knight will strengthen, will protect this d5 knight by playing at knight c3. So I just think that I need to push this knight e6, and plus I want to protect. I want to prevent from this pawn move to the f5. At least I have one, two, and three. What we call piece, a 2 point and one piece to cover this square. But white can take this pawn later on if queen is not here, so it will remove one defender on the f5 square. That's why I push the e6 square to protect this square. So Hafiz play knight d1, and I guess he want to move all the pieces to the king side and attack my king side here. So the reason why I move this queen d7, because I just want to cover his bishop. My plan is I want to push b5, but until the end I'm not push this point, because I think this is quite strong bishop. So I guess Hafiz will later on take the bishop, the knight. So I think this, if I push the b5, so my bishop will hang in here. That's why I think I do not push the pawn to b5. So here Hafiz was push push the pawn to straighten my knight. So I run away. Will knight b5. Knight b5 actually is inaccuracy. So I think I have to just take the knight at e2. Yeah, I think I have to take the knight e2 because the knight here is protect, discover the pawn here, and yeah. So Hafiz keep on pushing his pawn. So I need to run away again. So basically, Hafiz has pushed his pawn. So I have lost my temper because I need to keep running away the same knight instead of doing other things like develop my route to the c5 here. So that's why I lost my tempo. So here, according to the stockfish, is inaccuracy to push f5. For me, I think it's too early also, because instead of push the f5 here, you can Hafiz can push the g4. Perhaps that it can it can give more pressure at the f5 here. As you can see, I don't have knight at the d4, so I only have the g6 pawn, e6 pawn, and queen. So I think it's better for Hafiz to put on pressure on the G4 before he push the F5 pawn. Or he also can push the D4 pawn. According to Stockfish, the best way for Hafiz to push the D4 pawn. But for me, I think the G4 is better. I'm not sure why, because I think because the pawn is already pushed. It is already at the right time for him to uh attack me at the king side. So I will take, and Hafiz also take. So here definitely I'm gonna take the Hafiz bishop because that is the reason why I put the bishop here. So the king take back. So it is to taking the queen, and then the queen go to the f3, and here is my mistake, the blunder, because I thought that when I take this, and when I take Hafiz take my queen, and I thought that I can get the knight free here. If I take, but Hafiz can see my tactical, my intention why I take this, because I want to take the knight if he remove the queen. But Hafiz just take my queen, so I take back. So Hafiz just push the knight to f4. Knight f4 is inaccuracy. I'm not sure why Stockfish say that, but I think instead of to the knight f4, perhaps maybe the rook can go at the c1, can go to the c2 to protect, to cover the knight at e2. But knight f4 is not totally wrong, but it's okay. It's better for the rook to protect, and later on white can double the rook at f2. So I move to the bishop h6. I just want to pin the knight. So the king move to the f3 to protect the knight. So here the reason why I moved to the king h8, which is inaccuracy, because I was scared. I think that later on the pawn at g will move and the rook will get the file, and I also want to get the file here for the rook at f8. So that's why I moved my king to the king h8. But for the what we call, for the end game, if we think further, for the end game is not a good for king to be at the corner, because it's quite far for the king to move and to protect the pawn. So that's why it's not necessary. It is necessary and inaccuracy. So the best move for the black is just to put the knight at the d5. That's why after that Hafiz move his knight at the d3 in order to protect my knight to go to the d5. At least his knight has covered the d5 square. So I move to my knight to e6 because I want to active my knight. That's why I move my knight here, and also I want to if the knight take my knight, so I still have my bishop still pin the knight here. But unfortunately, I didn't see that Hafiz can take my point here, and definitely, I think the point here cannot be protected anymore. So I just take, and the point here is what we call is sweet point, and this is for me is a weak square also. So yeah, that's why I move to the d8 in order to protect my point here from take. So that's the end of my game because I already lost time. My time is already time out. As you can see here, there is a big gap between me and Hafiz, 30 minutes and for 0.4 seconds. So yeah, I think from this game, what I can see is I need to do more puzzle because I have right here, yes. When Hafiz moved to the queen d2, it's already negative 5.8. So that's why it's important for us to do a lot of puzzles so that we can see this easy tactical for me. But the easy one I can see. So that's why. And for me, also I think I need to move and think a bit faster so that there is no big gap time here. So I think that's all from my game.
Okay, so now I will give feedback on the Nurril Hafiz Jamil game. So the game start with the Sicilian. So the Sicilian and Nurril play this dragon setup. Okay, in the game, Nurril in the presentation, Nurril said that she doesn't really know how to fight against this setup, the sort of like G2 setup by white. So she said that she just play her game lah. So when you don't know what your opponent opening, so long that you don't make any blunder, that's okay. You need to sort of like don't just change the opening just because your opponent play a very strange opening. Okay, because when you play opening, for example Nurril, you are normally play this style. So just because your opponent play this sort of like Catalan, it's not really Catalan, it's more like King Indian attacks. Just play your game because you have more experience using that setup, using this dragon setup here. If let's say you try a new opening during the tournament, then you might have get trick here and there and so on, because you might not familiar with that territory of new opening. So if you are facing the like unorthodox opening, the opening that is you are not normally see during your game you play, then just play your own setup and make sure there are no blunder. As long as you can survive the opening, that's okay lah, and then you can play middle game and end game and so on. So in this game we follow the openings. Okay, so this basically more or less like King Indian attack setup lah. King Indian attack setup, you see this thing, the bishop Fianchetto here, and then you see this pawn is more like close rather than open. Open Sicilian, you push the pawn there lah. So this is like a close Sicilian but more towards King Indian attack. Okay, so when Hafiz play NC3, NC3, this is already close Sicilian. Okay, so normally when you play like this, you know that white, the idea for white normally want to play this and so on lah. One of the idea of white lah. And also when white play NC3 instead of playing NF3, you know that white more or less will sort of play this D3 rather than D4, but not necessarily it will always be the case, because white can always transpose. For example, if black play like this and then white play like this, and then black play like this, and then white can always coming back to the main line open Sicilian. So remember, thing can transpose in the opening. Okay, so that's the thing that you need to. That's why looking at many opening can benefit you also. Even though you don't use that opening, you will be familiar about this transposition of this different opening across the opening. So we can see here. Okay, so go there, go here, go there, and then go here. Okay. Starting here, if you look here, if you know about the concept, the idea behind the close opening, close Sicilian, then you know this pawn move is normal lah. Pawn move is normal. You need to how to deal with this pawn move. Okay, so in this game, black play NG4, Nurril play NG4. Okay, and then here, as Nurril said that white make first mistake lah. This not mistake, this is blunder, because you get for free, piece for free. Always be wary, as I said, always be wary. If you open the F pawn, always there will be a weakness somewhere in this, what we call, in this diagonal. Okay, any F pawn lah. If you are white, then you make sure you be careful when you push F4. When you are black, be careful when you push F5. You push F5 later on. So be careful about the diagonal that you open. So this is the case where the diagonal problem occur again and again. Human, when you have this, you are mostly, I mean, as a human, we are mostly easy to detect this file. Anything happen along the file, normally we can easily parry the threat, or we can prepare for that. But normally for the diagonal, we it's a little bit difficult for human. We are used to walk straight here, walk straight there, but we normally don't walk in diagonal. So that's why diagonal tactic occur again and again. So in this case, the queen d2, this diagonal is quite weak. This because it's open, it's already open by f4 pawn. So you just take. The best thing is to play is to just retreat lah. Just retreat. Just save this pawn, this bishop. This bishop is very important. This bishop is very important because remember, your diagonal is already weakened here. Your diagonal is already weakened here. So preserving this bishop is quite important, because this bishop can always go here and go here later on. And also remember, your opponent have this dragon bishop, which is so powerful later on if you are not careful. So preserving this bishop by going back doesn't mean that it's a bad move. Going back is basically accepting that this is the mistake, so I need to correct it. So it's not necessarily a bad move. Sometimes it's necessary to retreat back. But in the game, white play queen d2, and then this you just can take, and as this is a basic tactic lah, you can just go here and then this bishop need to be taken, but when you taken, then you have this fork, so no go lah. So because this knight is protecting this pawn, so you get this free piece, so then it's game over lah, almost game over lah. But in this position, instead of going that here, Nurril play ND4. Okay, so here we need to stop for a while and think why Nurril play ND4 instead of playing bishop D4. One of the reason maybe because when Nurril played this setup, she quite ingrained with this idea of putting the knight on D4. Maybe she played this many times in her previous game and so on. So this like a routine for her. So that's maybe one of the reason. So maybe another reason, maybe Nurril have this thinking that when he put this on this D4, he always can sort of like make white react to this what we call unprotected pawn. Okay, so this like automatic from Nurril perspective. And also, of course, if you take, then you get the queen lah, because the bishop take back and you get queen. So this maybe not come to Nurril mind, because maybe first she love this bishop so much. Okay, when you are playing dragon, you don't want to give this bishop for free, right? You normally want to save this. But if there is any specific tactic, then be it. For here, always look at the forcing move. When you have the choice which one to put, first choose the forcing move first. The most forcing move is bishop D4. Black must take. Okay, and white must take. So that's what we call forcing move. You force the continuation by your opponent. So then when you take, and just by looking at that, you know that okay, I got a free what we call another piece there. So that's enough to win the game lah. Okay, so don't get too attached by this what I call by this bishop. If let's say this bishop can do something, then be it. Okay, so it's not when you do analysis, just looking at the stockfish said that okay, this is not like missed opportunity. Why stockfish suggest this thing? That's not really much help you. The thing that help you is that you need to think behind why I do this thing, why I don't think this at all, and from that reflection, that will sort of like help you more than you just looking at stockfish. Okay, oh, I missed this thing, I can go this, actually I get this fork. It's much more important for you to reflect deeply. Okay, why I do this? Maybe because I too attached with this bishop, and I don't want to do this I don't want this bishop get exchanged and so on, making that you are missing this opportunity. Same also in the game also, Nurril also said he loved this bishop, doesn't want to taking this what we call this knight on the D2 E2, because he want to sort of like oppose another white bishop here and so on. But as I said, that's why you need to reflect deeply. Why do you love this bishop? Yes, bishop pair is important. Bishop pair is one type of advantage. But everything in chess need concrete evaluation. Every position have a concrete evaluation. If not, chess will be easy lah. If always double bishop must be advantage, then chess will be so easy. But because in chess, double bishop may or may not become advantage, then this is what make chess interesting lah. Because you cannot say for sure, and everything depend on certain situation, specific position itself. So that's why chess is hard, and also at the same time making chess interesting. You cannot just win because of certain generic rule. You must win in order to win against a good player, you need to calculate, you need to know, you need to realize that every position require different treatment, not generalization. Generalization is okay when you are beginner. When you are start to play, it's okay. Because you need the principle, you need sort of like a system, a generic system. But once you go to the level that is expert or professional, then generalization normally doesn't really help much, because your opponent also know about that generalization. Control the center, don't make blunder, don't leave pitch hanging, and so on. So how can you beat that the strong player? Is not by using generalization so much, because they also know. So it's about nuance, it's about knowing the small thing, the exception. The exception is what make the chess player, knowing the exception to the rule is what make chess player stronger and stronger. Okay, so we go this thing and d4. Okay, so that is missed opportunity lah. So now what to do actually, if let's say if let's say here take and then and d4 out, and d4 now attacking this what we call this c2 pawn. So what to do now in the game? Hafiz play what we call, Hafiz play rook a c1, protecting this what we call this c pawn. When you see this move, you know that if you're playing chess a lot, you know that this move strange. It's like the one that Ujai make against Faiz in the yesterday yesterday lecture. We see Ujai put his rook at not here but somewhere at f8 where the king is not yet castle. So you know that that type of movement make this coordination quite strange lah. You know this something wrong there, because the rook is not meant to defend. It meant to do something bigger than defending just a find this 1 pawn. So it needs something bigger in life, this rook. Okay, so the best way to what we call to play here, sorry. So how to do it? So how to deal with the end d4? So just retreat. Again, the retreating back is not a bad thing. Okay, if let's say that retreat is serving a purpose, then be it. Of course, it's psychologically hard to do this retreat move, but sometimes it's necessary, because see, if you retreat here, because you somehow moving your queen away from this dangerous diagonal, because this bishop, what we call dangerous diagonal, this one, because this bishop can somehow magically can land to this point for pinning this queen and king. So at least this retreat to queen d2 not only protect this pawn, but also preventing any nasty trick on d4 by the bishop here. So that's one thing. And also it's connecting this rook, still connecting this rook. And also this knight can go here and go there. Much better place for the knight. So that's how retreat doesn't necessarily mean bad thing. Sometimes it's necessary to retreat. Okay. So let's say black play b5. Okay. And then just take. Okay. Now this is also one of the advantage of retreat to queen to d2. Now you don't have this pin anymore. If the queen is here, then finish lah. The black can take with the knight lah, with the bishop and pin the queen. But here there are no use. If let's say bishop take the knight, then at least even though check, just run away there. Where is it? Just run away here, and then at least now this line is not open. So what we call the black doesn't have this what we call open line, open file on the C file. Even though black now have double bishop, but still it's difficult to use this bishop. Okay, at this position lah. If let's say instead of taking with the bishop, black take with the pawn, now this bishop is sort of like hindered, I mean biting the granite, biting his own pawn. Yes, in this case, yes, we still can say that what we call the white black have some advantage here because of this c file, but at least white have his own play lah. White can play something, I mean that you can open this whatever and so on lah. So at least white have this counter chance. That's important when you play chess lah. Counter chance, if you are defending, don't just defend. Yeah, defend is important, but sometimes you need to create also counter chance to get some opportunity of your own lah. So let's say white play like this, and then white can play this f5 lah. Normally, if you just push this, thinking that this rook is there, black will not what we call left this rook here lah. Of course, black will move. When you play chess, don't just keep clenching your hand and praying that my opponent, I don't want my opponent see it. If you have that mentality of like, oh please don't make my opponent see it, let my opponent blunder, then you will never able to win against the strong opponent, because you always rely that your opponent make the blunder. Mistake is different. Blunder is that this oversight, I mean your opponent plays take this and then you get this bishop for free, rook for free. That's a different thing. Mistake is inaccuracy, normally inaccuracy. When you play when you want to improve, you cannot just rely on the blunder, opponent make a blunder, because when you go high, the strong player doesn't make just obvious blunder. So by the way, it's already 11. I will take some of your time, maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to complete this. So in this case, yeah, this pawn move to e5 doesn't really have much lah. Even though it's open this bishop, but this rook can just go rook a6, and then yeah, what to do? You do this square is already weak. You cannot now when you push this, the bishop can just take, because there are no like support from other pawn. When you have this position, normally when you have this Grand Prix, I call it Grand Prix position, because this position when you play f4 and e4 in Sicilian, against Sicilian, the name for the opening normally they call it Sicilian Grand Prix, Sicilian Grand Prix. Okay. The way how to attack with this position is that white need to go here in order to break all this constellation of the dragon constellation around the king. So you put there, and then you put your knight somewhere, you put your queen there, and then somehow you put everything near the king lah. And then you can also double here. So you can see white can create his own chance, even though by taking on this, what we call black have this what we call the open file, white also have his own chance. So that's the thing lah. But in the game, white just play passively, just go to c1, okay, and then black play this thing, and then h3, and then here during the presentation, Nurril said that I don't want to take on e2 because I love this bishop and I want this bishop to be used in order to neutralize this bishop. But this bishop, the one that I put in red now, even though you take here, let's say you take here, which is the one what is recommended, you take here, you take here, you take there, and then you take that, at least you get 1 pawn free. That's one thing, you get pawn free. And if let's say you go there, you have this intermediate check, and then you can save this bishop, or maybe you just do like this, whatever lah, but you can save this bishop, you can save this pawn on the b7 because of this intermediate check. So at least this you have, by taking on this, first is tactically sound, okay, it's tactically sound, because you at least you get, because you need to take back lah, and then take back, check, you need to take back, and then because you get this pawn for free. So tactically, taking on d2, the knight it's good lah, because you get free thing, and then you can always have this check and then save this thing later. And when you save this thing later, let's say like this bishop now doesn't have anything to do. It doesn't really, it's like pointing to the air, to the air. So that's one thing lah. So don't afraid about don't get too attached with this bishop lah. Whatever bishop, whatever piece, if there is a concrete variation, then go to the concrete variation. And then here Nurril go to bishop d7. She said she want to go here, and this what you call to counter this bishop. And then white play this king h2, and Nurril said that I'm not sure why the king go to h2. Normally when you open this thing, when you open like this pawn is quite weak. This pawn, this one, the one that I put in red, is quite weak. So most black might go here, the queen go here, and when the queen go here, he will sort of like create a battery across this thing, across this what we call the pawn there. So that's why the king go there to protect this pawn. So if let's say white make a battery by putting the queen here, at least that pawn is sort of like protected lah. One more thing, the reason why the king go here is because if the king stay here, this diagonal, as I said, is very dangerous. So this bishop can magically goes here some time, and it will have this tempo check. And also in the line before, also when I put the line here, this thing, the line that you should play by taking the knight, even here you can see the danger of the pawn, you get this intermediate check. So that's one of the reason why white take time to go on this h2. And then black play this thing and b3. And here Nurril said that, oh, I don't know lah why this why the white play b3. The reason for this b3 is simple. It's because white doesn't want the bishop take this this b2, because white want to move this knight. Okay, he want to move somewhere, and then if we move somewhere, somehow this is open this bishop path to b2. So that's why white play b3 to prevent that. Okay, now in this position, it's time for black to come up with plan. What plan should black play? Because now the position is already like in the Blunder game. Okay, and there are no more king here, so there are no like trick along this diagonal anymore. So what the plan here? So what is the plan? So here this f4 pawn is look threatening. It's look threatening. This plan here is look threatening. We can say, okay, maybe white afraid about this thing. Black is afraid about this thing. But what is black plan now? Okay, what in the game, black play this thing. The reason why black play this thing, Nurril said that to prevent this knight from going here, and also to prevent this pawn from going here. Okay, but then if let's say if the knight go here, then just take lah, just take that, and then the pawn, let's say I give a null move, insert null move. Let's say the knight go here, just take lah, just take, and at least now this bishop do almost nothing lah, nothing. Of course, now you have this weak pawn also, so they are like a trade-off lah, trade-off. You have the white have this sort of like not bad bishop, but not really useful much, but also black also have some problem lah, so it's something trade-off lah. So yeah, it might be okay to play this, but there are no like concrete plan lah, the much better is to go here, because they have like a concrete reason for this. Because now the aim is to sort of like to eat this thing. The idea is that this thing eat here. Okay, what you call the knight to take here, and then the knight need to take back again lah. Because let's say I put null move, so the threat is to take this thing, and then this knight need to take lah. Because if the queen take, then the bishop will take the knight. Okay, so the knight take there, and then you get this lah. You get this pawn lah for free. Okay, so that's one thing. The reason why queen a5 eyeing this the weak pawn on this what we call on the a2. Here the f5 doesn't really do much because normally there are no, if let's say this f pawn can be pushed here, then it's dangerous lah. But because of there are e7 pawn here, then this push is not really dangerous. Okay, and then don't afraid of what we call of this taking this and so on, because let's say now black take on e2 take queen take this two. Let's say now white take here, white take on g6. Okay, breaking the king side cover, but still you do like this, you have like nothing to worry. You have the 1 pawn for free, and then now this file is neutralized because you have the black also have rook, so it's neutralized there. So it's not really dangerous lah. This thing at the moment lah, the push of this f5 is not dangerous. That's why here the plan should be better you create your own threat first. Okay, because let's say here white see that, and then he play this what we call a4. Okay, and then you can just break that thing. You break this thing, and in this game what we call Nurril said that it's always afraid this is hanging. This is not hanging, because if you push this, take the bishop, then it's not hanging anyway. So by doing this, you get this what I call this file and so on, and you can play against this file, and then you also have this bishop along this file, so you have this file control and so on. At least you have plan to do what to do there. So that's why this you play queen e5 in order to sort of like create this weakness, and also not only that, you protect these things in order you want to create your own threat. When you play dragon, normally the play for the dragon, because of this bishop, the play is normally around here on the queen side. You play here normally lah in dragon. Okay, but in the game white play black play e6, and then nd1, and then queen d7 in order to protect that. No, they said in order to protect that bishop, but this bishop doesn't need to be protected. I mean, why you need to protect that? Because this, you just take lah the bishop. It's not really protected. It's not really a problem about protect or not. Okay, so queen d7, c3, and then nb5. Okay, again, this is quite the knight now seem offside. It's quite strange, the knight going here and going. It's like passive now. It's much better to just capture here, to just what we call capture on the e2, and then take that, and then open on the queen side again. And then the bishop, this bishop, because it's already eyeing here, you can put here and so on, and maybe there and so on. But you need to be careful also about this lah. But you have the chance lah. You also have the chance here. Black also have a chance here lah. But black play nb5. So now you take this thing, whatever, and c7. So now the knight here seems like very offside lah. And now this f5. Okay, this open up black bishop line. Okay, because you need to take lah, because in this case you need to take. That's one of the problem when you have this thing, when you have the e6 there. Instead of on here, if you have on e6, you must take this thing, because if not, this pawn will go there, and then the bishop will be shut for forever lah. So you must take, you take, and then you take, and then take this, and then in the game you black play this, Nurril play this, and then queen f3. Queen f3. So in this position, white play in this position, Nurril play queen f5, queen time f5. This is inaccuracy because of the position is become equal. In this position, black have some advantage because of this bishop. This bishop is so strong. So it's sort of like limit this rook movement. So here black should play this thing lah. Aiming for what? Aiming for going here and double. You want to put here because this sort of like control this square. So you want to double there. Okay, you might say, okay, this is like free. No, it's not free, because if you take, I can take there. Now you can see, if there is bishop here, if let's say there are bishop here, then the defense much easier for white. But they are now position is naked now. It's quite naked. It's quite naked. So if let's say you put like this, if you go to f3, then you can sort of like trap the queen. You trap the queen there. But if you like sort of like interpose with the rook, then you can just also go there, and then queen f3, and then now you can take with the rook instead of taking with the queen. Then you can take the rook. So now you have the advantage lah. So here, so this is the what we call the important of tactic lah. So that's why when I said this move, this what we call this move, the f5 move here is quite bad, because why? Even though it forced black to take, white need to take back, and then black is able to exchange this bishop. Once this bishop is no more, then it's easier for black to launch an attack, because the bishop there, the bishop here, is good in defend the position of the king. But when the bishop is gone, then yeah, it's not normal lah. So here the good thing, as I said, is queen and d5 lah. But in the game, it take on this what I call on f5, and then take back, and then take back. In this position is equal, but it's easier to play as what we call as white, because you can white have easy plan now. You can always goes to this f5, okay, and then f4, whatever like this. So this the position is equal here. Is equal here. So not much to be said here lah. And it is equal. It just here black lost on time lah. So in chess, the position is still equal. In chess, no matter how good you play, if you lost on time, then you lost lah. Even the position is promising, if you lost on time, then no good lah. So like Nurril said that at this time, Hafiz still have like 14 minutes left. Okay, that's a lot of time, meaning that Hafiz only use around 7 minutes of his thinking time, whereas Nurril used 20 minutes of the thinking. So yeah, to increase your speed, you need to play a little bit bliss. Of course, I not recommend too much playing bliss, but sometimes bliss can help you to sort of like get the feeling there. Okay, and also do a lot of what we call a lot of tactic, like Nurril said, a lot of tactic and so on, and also analyze your game, because when you analyze your game, then you know where is your typical mistake. Like in this Nurril game, you know that this position, where to put, what to put, the knight or the bishop. So if let's say Nurril deeply reflect this game, next time when she got this position again, she will think twice whether to put knight or to put the bishop, rather than just automatically put the knight there. Okay, so that's one of the important of reflecting your game. Not, when I say reflecting, it's not looking at the stockfish and just, oh, I should do this, I should do. No, that doesn't really help much lah, because you still make a mistake again and again later on. So in order to really learn, not only you use stockfish, but also reflect. I mean, deeply reflect. Why I do this? Why I do this? And so on. And really do a deep thinking on that. Okay. So I think that's it for today. So let me change this. So let me change this. The what we call this view to this view, and then let's go to this view. Where is you? Let me I bring you, and then I bring this thing. Okay, let me bring this thing. Okay, so that's it for today. It's already it takes a long time today, so I don't want to take more time of you. So Mizan going to this masum what I call masum what, masum taklimat, masum meeting just now, and Izzat also there. So I might what we call join, but I might not also. It's quite tired now. So so I think if there is any question, so you just put on the WhatsApp group. So tomorrow, okay, tomorrow will be what? Tomorrow will be, let me see first. Tomorrow will be, where is the thing? Why besar sangat ni? Kecil sikit lah. Okay, tomorrow will be, let me open this thing first. Tomorrow presentation will be Khalid and Siti Sarah. Okay, Khalid and Siti Sarah. So tomorrow is Khalid and Siti Sarah. Siti Sarah, I think I already put the what we call the link. Khalid, yeah, I need to remind him. So I think that's it for today. So see you tomorrow. Okay, that's all for today. I end this session with recitation of Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As.